directors, and faculty members. I am Raven Joseph, your hospital's compliance officer, and today I will be giving you a brief overview of the moral rights to healthcare. Today I have 4 important issues of moral rights to healthcare that I will be going over, which are Code of Conduct, Informed Consent, HIPAA, and Medical Malpractice. To begin with, what are Code of Ethics? A code of ethics document may outline the mission and values of the business or organization and how professionals are supposed to approach problems, the ethical principles based on the organization's core values, and the standards to which the professional is held. In order to perform duties and deliver services to others, effectively and ethically, and to avoid inflicting of harm to them, specialists, employers, employees, and workers of every profession must follow certain ethics. Here I have 2 principles of medical ethics that should be followed at all times. A professional shall be dedicated to providing competent medical care with compassion and respect for human dignity and rights, and a physician shall respect the rights of patients, colleagues, and other health professionals, and shall safeguard patients' confidence and privacy within the constraints of the law. A very big issue that I believe healthcare providers are faced with is having patients that don't fully understand the background of the procedures they will be receiving. Then they try to blame the providers for not warning them. Well, that's where informed consent comes into play. Informed consent is the process by which the treating healthcare provider discloses appropriate information to a competent patient so that the patient may make a voluntary choice to accept or refuse treatment. Informed consent generally requires the patient or responsible party to sign a statement confirming that they understand the risks and benefits of the procedures or treatment. Keep in mind the 5 requirements in informed consent: adequate disclosure of information, decisional capacity of the patient's comprehension of information, voluntariness, and consent of the patient. If the patient is determined to be incapacitated or incompetent to make healthcare decisions, a surrogate decision maker must speak on their behalf. In the medical field, healthcare providers should always be aware of who and where to discuss patients' information. As patients' information becomes easily accessible by computer-based patient records, healthcare providers need to ensure that they are doing everything in their powers to protect all patients' rights. In fact, in 1996, Congress approved the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, which calls for protection of the privacy of medical information. With HIPAA in place, there are 5 principles patients are able to reflect on, which includes consumer control. Consumers are provided with the rights, including the right to see a copy of their medical records and to request corrections to the records. Accountability, public responsibility, boundaries, and security. The Privacy Rule, a federal law, gives you rights over your health information and sets rules and limits on who can look at and receive your health information. Although we place a lot of trust in our doctors and healthcare providers, we cannot forget that everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. Medical malpractice occurs when a patient is harmed by a doctor who fails to completely perform his or her medical duties. Common types of malpractice are failure to diagnose, improper treatment, and failure to warn the patient of known risks. There are penalties and consequences that could result in a lawsuit, which can cause a loss in businesses and those businesses to lose a lot of money. It is the hospital, doctor, or other healthcare professionals' legal duty to perform the best possible care and create no harm to any patients. In closing, one of the best ways to improve the overall health and wellness of the population and avoid preventable deaths is to get more patients insured so that they can get the health care they need. Thank you.